unbelievable incompetence or he was in on the fraud. That's one of the things we're going to get to the bottom of.
Vice President, what is your specific role in the future of Venezuela? And I'm wondering, could you confirm reports that the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was kept out of the planning for the operations because of her past concerns about military involvement in Venezuela?
So I've heard a couple of things. One, that I was kept out of the planning for the Venezuela operation, that's false. And another, that Tulsi was kept out of the planning for Venezuela operations, that's completely false. Look, we're all part of the same team. And one of the things that is really amazing about that operation is that we kept it very tight to the senior cabinet level officials and related officials in our government. And we kept this operation secret for a very long time. I'm very proud of that. I think it suggests that the team works very well together. Well, looking ahead, what is my role? Look, my role is going to be whatever the president asks me to do.
Has he asked you to do something yet?
Well, every single, or I should say every other day, I'm chairing the meeting that we do on this among White House principals to talk about next steps to try to ensure that Venezuela is stable, and as the president has directed us to do, to ensure that the new Venezuelan government actually listens to the United States and does what the United States needs it to do under our country's best interest. So I'm going to be as involved as the president wants me to be. So far, that's been very involved, and I'll keep on doing that so long as the president asks me to do it.
How would you assure the Caribbean region that they will remain a zone of peace? Because some member states in the region are concerned.
Well, look, the president had a very productive phone call with the president of Colombia yesterday, and we continue to talk at all levels of government with a number of our friends in the Caribbean region. I actually think this is really good for peace in the Caribbean, because when you take away a major source of illegal cartel revenue, which is the cocaine trade, the fentanyl trade, other sources of illicit revenue, you actually remove the power of one of the main destabilizing forces in Latin America and in the Caribbean. I really do think, look, we say it all the time, this is the president of peace. One of the ways that you establish peace in your own hemisphere is to make it clear that the United States is going to be respected, that the United States is willing to take power away from criminal cartel organizations and give it to legitimate governments. That's how we see the future of the Western Hemisphere, and we think it's going to be much more peaceful than it was certainly under Joe Biden. I'll take one more question.
Thank you. On Greenland, do you have a message for European leaders? Many in Europe reject the idea that the island could be for sale.
Well, first of all, Secretary Rubio, I believe, is meeting with the leaders of Denmark and Greenland next week. I want to say it is, but maybe it's the week after that. We'll continue to deliver some of these messages in private, some of them in public, but I guess my advice to European leaders and anybody else would be to take the President of the United States seriously. What has he said about Greenland? Set to the side the crazy overreactions that I've seen from the press and from certain people in Europe. What has the President said? Number one, Greenland is really important, not just to America's missile defense, but to the world's missile defense. Number two, we know that there are hostile adversaries that have shown a lot of interest in that particular territory, that particular slice of the world. So what we're asking our European friends to do is to take the security of that landmass more seriously, because if they're not, the United States is going to have to do something about it. What that is, I'll leave that to the President as we continue to engage in diplomacy with our European friends and everybody on this particular topic. And again, we'll continue to deliver some of these messages in private, some of them in public, but I guess my advice to European leaders and anybody else would be to take the President of the United States seriously.
Monsieur le ministre, cher Jaï Shankar, quelques mots en français pour vous aider. C'est l'entretien bilatéraux ainsi que les échanges que nous aurons tout à l'heure avec nos collègues allemands et polonais. C'est dans un moment très important de relever. Okay. So that there is only 5 to 10% that needs to be discussed, and the way they là parce qu'on n'a pas beaucoup de temps.
Actually, yeah, 2 days, but I was in Luxembourg. Okay, so yeah.
Ahead of us is the very important summit that will take place between the EU and our respective sovereignties, while actors like China, Russia, the US are less and less inhibited in
sur le territoire de l'OTAN, à la frontière avec l'Ukraine. Est-ce que cela pourrait être le cas donc en Pologne?
S'agissant du Groenland, Je ne veux pas là aussi me répéter. Je me suis déjà exprimé sur ce sujet. Le président de la République lui-même s'y est rendu cet été. Au mois de juin, je m'y suis rendu en août pour affirmer notre soutien aux autorités danoises et groenlandaises, renforcer notre présence diplomatique et stratégique dans l'Arctique. Nous avons annoncé l'ouverture d'un consulat à Nuuk. Et comme l'a rappelé plus récemment la Première ministre danoise, le Groenland n'est pas à vendre. Il n'est pas à prendre. Nous ne sommes plus à l'époque où on pouvait acheter ou vendre la Louisiane. Et donc ces intimidations doivent cesser et le Danemark sait pouvoir compter avec la solidarité des pays européens qui l'ont rappelé par la voix de leur chef d'État et de gouvernement dans un communiqué commun pas plus tard qu'hier.
Quel rôle, selon vous, pour l'Europe en matière de politique étrangère?
What do you say to Danes who say, well, we give half
We should prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Have a zero tolerance law about rare earth minerals like uranium.
I think we're not a business. We're a people. We're a people with our own country and culture, language. We are not a product. So I think people should really think about that. I know Donald Trump is a businessman, but Greenland is not a product. We're a people. And that should be taken very seriously and that should be respected.
We should be the people that is in focus here. And when the Greenlandic people have shown time and again that we want independence, we should explore the possibilities for independence in our current situation.
Trying to keep up,
right.
Yeah, but at one point you just have to.
So he's now saying that by the end of his second term.
Yeah, well, I would say I'm worried. Planes and stuff like that. So if he really wants to go up here and go in with boots, he has to. We've been talking about that. What are we going to do if something happens? Should I need to go to Denmark to the children? Should I stay here? Stuff like that. So it's getting very practical thoughts about what's going to happen if something worse happens.